afternoon, everyone. And all these talks that we have gone through for the last few days, so these are not only for you to memorize the parts, the classifications, because sometimes what happens is we memorize everything and then we are able to describe them very easily when we have memorized them. And then when we remember all the points, and then when we are able to describe them, then we think that we have understood the meanings, but actually it is not like that. Understanding the words and understanding the meanings is a very big difference. Like when we read the biographies of Naropa, so he was like already a very good scholar in India, but then even though he was like one of the most respected scholar, so he was told by her Dakini that till now you only understand the word, but you don't understand the meaning. So we have to understand about it. So even here when we are talking about precious human birth, I'm pretty sure almost all of us can remember the points. We can say, or we can, it's quite easy to describe about all the classifications of the different parts, different sections, and then we think that we understand precious human birth, but actually it is just that most of us, we only understand the words, but we have to understand the meaning of all these things. And then the other biggest, I think, misconception these days is when we are doing meditation, we always think that we should not be thinking anything at all. Or maybe sometimes we are told that we should only think about one object the whole session. And most of us think that, oh, I should only think about one object, or whether it is a deity, whether it is a medium of an object, whatever. So we only do that, but actually it is not like that. Even when we are practicing about precious human birth, we can think about all this stuff. So the hell realm, the hungry ghost realm, the animal realm, the human realm, the God realm, all this stuff we can think about during our meditation. But we have to be very aware when we are thinking about these things. We should think that, oh, whether I've been born in hell in my previous life, and what I am doing in this life, the activities that I'm doing, the things that I'm doing, the things that I am thinking mentally, or whatever I'm doing from my body, from my speech, what am I doing, and the activities that I'm doing, what will be the result for me in my next life. How much possibility is for me to be again born as a human, or maybe born as a God, or maybe being born in hell, in hungry ghost like that. We should keep on thinking like that. And then when we are aware, when we are thinking like that, it is going to make a huge difference in us. But then just sitting somewhere and then trying to think nothing at all, it doesn't make much difference. All of us have been practicing for a very long time. We think that we have meditated for so many years, but still we do realize that we are still the same for all this time. We don't see any improvement. It is because we are having the misconception of meditation. We think we are meditating, but we end up not meditating at all. So it is very important to think about all these things. And even here, when we are talking about the general mantra, we have 4 different parts in here. But if we are able to just focus or concentrate on the first one, precious human birth, this already includes the other 3 subjects from the general mantra. Because when we realize that our precious human birth is very important, and when we meditate on it, then we will definitely understand that it is not going to be forever. We have this precious human birth, but it is not going to last forever. It is going to be dying sooner rather than later. And when we think about precious human birth, we indirectly also realize that it is impermanence. And then not only that, when we think about our precious human birth, we do understand that we didn't receive this precious human birth by just some chance. There were lots of different causes, and because of all these causes, we are able to have this precious human birth in this life. And if we continue doing something good, then there is possibility of being born in the upper realm. And then if we do a lot of negative stuff, then there is possibility of being born in the lower realm. So with that, we also understand karma, cause and effect. And not only that, we also understand the defects of samsara when we meditate on precious human birth. So of course there are like 4 different classifications, but if we are able to understand precious human birth very well, then we will knowingly or unknowingly, directly or indirectly, we will have understanding about the other 3 parts also. After this retreat, or maybe even during now, from my understanding, if any one of you is little afraid of your next life, maybe you think that, oh, what am I going to be in my next life? How much possibility is there for me to be again born as human? Or maybe there's going to be more chance of me being born in hell or being born in hungry bush realm. If you have like this kind of thought, maybe few times, if more, then definitely it is better. But if you have like this kind of thought within this retreat, or maybe because of this retreat helps you, and maybe after the retreat you are a little afraid of your next life, then I think the retreat that we are doing is of great benefit. It has some fruit or some result from this retreat, but just knowing the terms, understanding a little, I don't think that's very important. That's not much of benefit. But if you are a little afraid of your next life, if you believe that there is next life, and I'm a little afraid of my next life, how it is going to be, then I think we are having a very good result from the retreat that we are doing. And then we continue from yesterday, the 16 states without freedom. I think we are at the point 9, to be strongly attached to one's body, possessions, and so forth. And I think this is quite easy to understand. If we are very attached to our body or possession, then definitely it is going to be a very big hindrance in our practice. Especially like all of you, I don't think you have like a lot of attachment to your body and possession, because most of you came from a different country to be in this retreat, and I'm pretty sure wherever you came from, the facilities, the things, the necessities are all way better in the country that you came from. And especially now in Kathmandu, because of the pollution, everything is quite bad here. And even though we are a little away from Kathmandu, but still because of the pollution, it is quite difficult to breathe. We are also having some cough and difficulty breathing and lots of health problems. And not only that, when you come from a different country all the way to here, it is quite expensive buying the airfares, living here, staying in a guest house, transportation and everything. If you are very attached to your body or your possession, I don't think you will be willing to come all the way up here in Namo. So I don't think we have to go through this a lot. And then the second one is also quite easy to understand. And then the third and fourth one, I think these are just opposite. And we have been hearing about this all our life when we receive teachings. And I think we all have this problem. We always hear about all the difficulties that are there in samsara, and how much difficult it is if we are born in hell, if we are born in hungry ghost realm, if we are born as an animal, even if we are born in the upper realm, it is still very difficult for us. We will always be having difficulties, problems like that. But since we have been hearing this for a very long time, we take this very easy. We are never afraid of our next life, and we don't get much motivation to be free from all this stuff. And since we have been hearing this again and again, we take all this lightly. And also the fourth one, we do know the benefit of having the enlightenment or liberation, but still we never think about them. We go through the text, we think that we understand, we think that we believe in them, but we never think about liberation, we never think about enlightenment. Even when we are practicing, most of the time we are having a very small motivation, and most of the time it is only for this life. We hardly have the motivation that, or because of the practice that I'm going to do, may I be enlightened. I don't think any of us, when we are practicing, we have that kind of motivation. Not only that, we might also think like that it is impossible to gain enlightenment. And to have enlightenment, most of us think that, or maybe for some other students, maybe it might be possible. But for me, it is not going to be possible. Most of us think like that, which is a very bad sign in our practice. We have to have the motivation of being enlightenment. And again, we hear about enlightenment and liberation a lot of times, but we don't think about them when we are practicing. And then number 5, to naturally delight in non-virtue. And this also almost every one of us have that. It is just that we don't realize that. Like for example, when we are receiving some teachings, maybe empowerment, or maybe when we are joining the puja, we tend to look at our watch quite a lot of time because maybe we are tired, or maybe we are exhausted, maybe we don't want to continue. We want to get done with the class, or maybe empowerment like that, because we want to do something else. But then again, when we are doing something which we like, for example, if we like listening to the music, or maybe going to some concert, or maybe watching movies or whatever, then again there is possibility for us to watch at our watch or the clock. But that time it is different because we are worried that it is going to end. Maybe the concert is going to end, so we are very worried. Or maybe if we are in a holiday, then we are worried that, oh, I have 1 week holiday, so now it's only 4 days over, now I only have 3 days left, like that. So the main purpose or the motivation is very different when we are watching the dates or the watch on that. And we always tend to think that, oh, I'm not like that. I have naturally delight in virtue. We think like that. But actually, if we think it properly, then we will understand that whether we are like naturally delight in virtue actions or maybe non-virtue actions. When we are enjoying something, our vocation or maybe food or music, then we hope that it is not going to end. But when we are doing something like prayers or teachings, we always hope that, oh, it is going, may it end sooner than later. Like again, for another example, this year we are going to have the Regendirza empowerment given by Sangani Parupache, and it is going to last for like 4 months. And as soon as our Dharma brothers and sisters know that it is going to last for 4 months, everybody asks, oh, how come it is very, very long? Whether you will not be bored, how are you going to attend for 4 months? How are you going to make enough time for 4 months like that? But then when we say something else like, oh, maybe I'm going to study my bachelor's somewhere for 2 years, 3 years, nobody is going to question us when we are going to say that. Or maybe if I say that I'm going to not me, but maybe some other students who are not monks, if they say that, oh, I'm going abroad to earn some money, I will live abroad for 2 months, 2 years, 3 years, nobody is going to question us, oh, how come you are living, going there for 2 years, 3 years. They will all be like, oh, it is very good for you to live abroad, make some money, do this, do that for 2 years, 3 years. But as soon as when it is a dharma activities and it is for 4 months, everybody has the same questions that how come it is very long? How come it will not end sooner than 4 months? Why are you receiving all this empowerment like that? And from that, we know that how we are, what we think of virtue activities, what we think of non-virtue activities. And obviously, when we are in a Dharma class, we have to behave according to the Dharma. And then number 6, inclination towards the Dharma as a dog has towards eating grass. And that is also, we can realize that it is quite difficult for us to attend when we know that there is a teaching going on, or if there is prayers going on, or if there is an empowerment going on. Even if we hear the musical instruments from the puja, we tend to ignore them. But then when we hear some soulful music, then we tend to go to the restaurants. Sometimes we smell very good coffee, then we end up being in the cafe. But these are very easy for us. But then when we hear teachings, prayers, empowerment, it doesn't automatically make us go to that place. But when there is something else, then it is very easy for us. And then number 7, breaking one's motivation or vows. And that is also, I think, quite easy to understand, whichever vows, whether the vows from our body or our speech or our mind. And then the number 8 one, impair one's pledges with one lamas and dhamma friends. And with these 2, I think with the lama it is quite difficult, because as I said yesterday, you don't spend a lot of time with your lama, and even when you spend your time with lama, it is usually during the teachings or empowerment or puja, and you don't get to see the negative side of the lama much. Maybe there is some negativity, maybe there is no any negativity, but even if they have, it is quite difficult to see, because you only see them during the events or pujas, empowerment like that. But then with your Dharma brothers and sisters, it is very easy to see them. We spend a lot of time with our Dharma brothers and sisters. We go here and there, we eat with them, we sleep with them, we drink with them. And then when we spend a lot of time with them, we see a lot of negative stuff sometimes. Sometimes maybe they are bad, but sometimes maybe even though they are good, because of our own perception, we think that they are bad. And then we end up seeing lots of Dharma brothers and sisters having problem with each other. But if we have like that, then that is a very big mistake in our practice. We have to have faith in the Buddha, to the Dharma, and to the Sangha. And our Dharma brothers and sisters are also a part of Sangha. And if we don't have faith and devotion towards them, but end up having hatred or disliking, then it means that we don't have faith in the 3 jewels. And when we don't have faith in the 3 jewels, it means that we are not yet a proper Buddhist practitioner. So it is very important and good to have good perception of our Dharma brothers and sisters. All these faults or maybe negativities, what we have to do is we have to check these to us, not like we have to check it to others. We have to check it onto ourselves, like looking into a mirror, whether I have this or not. If I don't have these negativities, then we should feel very happy that I don't have this. If we have these, then we try to know that, oh, I have these negativities, I have these faults. And when you know that you have these faults, then you will want to remove these faults. But if you don't realize these faults at all, then there is no possibility of removing these faults, because you don't realize that you have these faults. So first, it is very important to understand that you have these faults. So for that, the best thing is you go these faults one by one and you check it onto yourself whether you have this or not. And what happens most of the time is sometimes when we understand this, instead of checking on us, we end up checking on others. Whether other students are having this or not, whether other students are practicing well or not, whether they are having faith and devotion to the teachers or not. But actually it is not that useful when we do like that. It only brings us more problems in our practice. All this stuff that we learn, what we should be doing, what we should not be doing, these should be implied only to us, not others. If you have fault, you correct them. If you don't have fault, you rejoice in them. But you don't check onto others what they are doing, how they are doing, why they are doing. And if you look into others, then you will feel angry, you will feel attachment, you will feel jealousy, and it will only bring you more problems in your practice. So these things, when you learn, it has to be implied onto yourself and not something to judge other Dharma practitioners. And then comes the 5 personal opportunities. And even among these 5, the first 3, we most likely we have that. We have already obtained a precious human body, and we have already been born in a central land where there is the Dharma, and we have the 5 sense faculties. So knowingly or unknowingly, we already have these 3. So not much we can do about these 3, but then the number 4 and 5, so we have to dwell on these 2. So avoiding wrong views and having faith based on confidence in the source of refuge, or the 3 jewels, we have already talked on them. So we can think whether I have wrong views or not, whether I have faith in the 3 jewels or not. So we already went through these 2 points. And then the 5 opportunities provided by others. So that is also not done something by us, but it is just provided by others. And we have all these 5. So when we read, it is quite easy to understand. The Buddha has come and he has given teachings, and the teaching has not been diminished, and lots of followers and all this stuff. So this is also quite easy to understand. And then from all the sentient beings also, it is very easy to commit negative actions, but to commit positive actions is very little. And not only that, even performing from positive actions, like performing extremely positive actions, is almost impossible. They are very few, and even when we look around, we see that to have a precious human body is extremely impossible to have. When we go around, like to a mountain or to a hill, when we take out a rock, and even below the rock we can see like thousands and thousands of insects. And if we are talking about germs, then there are like millions and millions of them, billions of them. But then those people who are practicing the Buddha Dharma is very few, and we have to realize that it is not very easy to have this precious human body. And when we have this, it is very advisable to make use of this body when we have this. And even this precious human body that we have, even though it is very precious, but then again it is very easy to lose. For like when we are breathing, we breathe out, and then we cannot breathe in. Then as soon as we have that, then we die. And it is very easy to lose this precious human body. It is not like maybe, for example, saying some other precious stuff, like maybe a diamond. It is very precious, but again it is very difficult to break them. But then our precious human body, of course, it is very difficult to get this precious human body, but to lose it is extremely easy. And whatever we think that is making us have this precious human body for a longer time, they might also be the same reason for us to lose this human birth. And this precious human body, if we are able to take care of it, then there is huge possibility for us to attain enlightenment. So it is very important to take care of this precious human body. But again, whatever we think is going to take care of the precious human body, they might be the same reason for us to lose this body. For example, we think that if we exercise, then we are going to live a very healthy life, long life. But we never know. We hear a lot of accidents having in gym when they are being crushed by the weights, or sometimes we think that, oh, maybe by doing lots of jogging, running, it is going to make us very healthy. But then again, when we are jogging, when we are running, there is huge possibility of us tripping over and then maybe dying. It is quite easy. Sometimes we think that, oh, maybe like during the COVID, if we wear the mask, we are going to be safe from COVID. But then again, there's another problem coming from wearing the mask. You wait for a very long time, then you are not able to breathe properly. Then there's again another case coming because of wearing too much mask. Then again, there is possibility of dying. Then sometimes we think that. Then again, sometimes we think that, oh, maybe eating some very healthy food is going to be, or maybe enhance our health. But then again, when you keep eating a lot of healthy stuff, then sometimes again there might be some other reaction, you will get some other disease. So we have no idea what is going to help our life. And everything that we believe is going to make our life maybe healthier or live longer, they might also be the same reason for our death. So there are like lots of different things that might be the reason for our death, and we have to be very mindful that we can lose this precious human life very easily, and we have no idea when we are going to lose it, and before we lose it, we have to make use of this precious human body. Now we have already attained this precious human body, and then to again have this opportunity is almost impossible for us, and especially if we have this like 10 different points coming later in this same text. So if we have any of this, then it is almost impossible for us to have this same precious human birth. And then when we are talking about precious human birth, what we have to realize is we should not be having a lot of ego, because sometimes when we realize that, oh, I have this very precious human birth, and then there is possibility of again having like a very big ego and thinking that, oh, I am superior to other sentient beings and I'm superior to the animals, so I can do anything with the animals, I can do anything with the people who are not precious. So if it happens like that, then it is not helpful at all. But what we have to realize is that we already have this very precious human birth, and we have to make use of this precious human birth. And how are we going to make use of it? We have to practice, we have to have good bodhicitta, we have to have pure motivation, and we have to do good from our body, speech and mind. And then if we are able to do that, then it means that we are making use of the precious human birth. But if we just realize that, oh, I have a precious human birth, I feel very happy, I am content with that, then it is not going to do anything useful for you. So you have to make use of whatever you have. And then the most important thing is when we have this precious human birth, so we should value other precious human birth also. We should be not saying something bad or harsh to other sentient beings, especially if they are Dharma brothers and sisters, or maybe teachers, or if they are practicing, because we will not know what they are from their actions. For example, for now it is very easy for us to have faith in the Marpa, the translator. We read his biography, we feel like, oh, if I was born during that time, if I was the follower of Marpa, then there is huge possibility for me to be a much better practitioner than I am now. We think like that. But actually, if we were born at that time, I don't think most of us will have a lot of faith and devotion to Marpa, when we read the biography of Milarepa and Marpa, we can see that he was like very angry all the time. He was not teaching whenever Milarepa requested. He was making Milarepa do a lot of stuff which were very hard. Make a house, break it down, again make a house, again break it down. But now when we are reading the text, it is very easy for us to have like tremendous faith and devotion to Marpa. We feel like, oh, he was a very good teacher, he was a great teacher like that. But if we were born in that time, I am pretty sure most of us will not have much respect and devotion to him, especially since, again, he was not a Buddhist monk. He had a wife, he had children, and from the biography, it seems that he had like lots of attachment to his wife and his children, especially to his possessions, his wealth, his house like that. But looking back, now when we read the book, it feels that it is going to be very easy for us if we had a teacher like that. But if there is really someone like that now, we are definitely not going to have faith and devotion to a teacher like him. We are definitely not going to him to receive teachings. And not only that, there is huge possibility for all of us to bad mouth a teacher, someone like who behaves like Marpa like that. So we have to realize that what we see all the time may not be true. He was definitely a great master to Milarepa. He was a great practitioner, but it is quite difficult for a student like us to see what their actual practice is. So we have to realize that from his biography that even us, it is very easy for us to judge our Dharma brothers and sisters, some teachers, some masters. We think that, oh, we know them very well, they are very bad Dharma practitioners, they are very bad teachers like that. But we never know what their motivation is, and especially if we have like a very bad negative action being done to a bodhisattva, then we say that it is going to be of extreme sin in our life. So it is best advice to not say something ill, something bad about other masters, other teachers, other Dharma brothers and sisters. So we just follow on our practice. We see how my practice is going on. We see how my practice is improving, whether it is improving or not. So whatever we learn, we just imply it on our practice and not for something to judge other masters and Dharma brothers and sisters. So then at the end what we have to do is, we have to find our teacher, listen to their teachings, and whatever practice we are doing, we try to improve our practice. If we haven't done the Montu, we do the Montu. If we have done the Montu, then we try to do something else, maybe Guru Yoga, some other practice, and we try to do the accumulations of merit. We try to practice as much as we can. We try to be a better human being, and if we improve in that way, then it means that we are making use of the precious human birth. But if we don't do anything, we just believe that I have a very precious human birth, and if we don't make use of it, then there's not much benefit of having this precious human birth. For example, again, sometimes when we go for like a buffet dinner, then we have already paid for the buffet dinner. But if we are not able to eat what we like over there, then we are like wasting our time, we are wasting our money. We just go there, maybe we only eat rice, and then we come back, then there's not much use of being all the money being there or going all the way. But if we go there and eat whatever we like, whatever is healthy, whatever we want to eat or drink, then it seems like, oh, maybe the money that I spent was spent wisely. Most of us think like that. Whether it is wisely or not, that we are not very sure. But then with this precious human birth, if we spend it wisely, practicing, doing something good, with good motivation, then it is definitely being spent wisely. And even if we don't have a lot of time being alive, even if it is still okay, even if we have small, less duration, or if we have long duration, but still what we need to do is we need to make use of this precious human birth. And then we stop here for today.